Hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 15, Week 1. Today, we're taking a look at Themeless Void taking on Team Doja Cat, and we should not be hearing any audio issue type things right now. At least I don't think you should be anyway. I did a test recording and there wasn't anything there. With me here today are two representatives of a team that's not actually present at all. Carp.
Dire team back.
This is where you say something.
Hello.
And Cryptic, whereas some people call him Cryptwunk.
Yes, hello.
People actually call him that?
No.
10 seconds.
Gotham, PvcPipe lineups. Gotham starting out with a Windrunner ban, with a Punch ban. The Windrunner ban is interesting. You know, I said it before on here, but I think Windrunner is one of those heroes that's broken at like a pro level. I don't think in like an LD2L type game that Windrunner is probably necessarily worth a first ban. Unless somebody has been spamming it, or there's like a really good Windrunner on the enemy team. So I don't know about the ban here necessarily.
10 seconds.
That's more of like the fear of it could go anywhere. It could go offlane, safely, mid.
Yeah, but it's like, if it's not a good Windrunner, I don't care where it goes, you know what I mean? Send it wherever you want.
The way
It makes it harder to pick. It makes it harder to guess where it's going to be flexed, but it's like the people's pools are limited enough that you can usually make a pretty good guess, or somebody's just gonna have like a dead lane.
I mean, it's a lane-winning hero. You just out-click them, and then this is LD12, so generally it's like win the lane, you win the game.
I don't know if I'm necessarily 100% on that train. Maybe this patch a little bit more than most, but
Yeah.
despite the lack of Slizzy in this game, we are still going to first pick the Clinks. Because why not? On the PvC lineup. Gotham first picking Undying because it's 2 seasons ago.
Ten seconds remaining.
I think they're strong
this is,
opening picks.
Yeah, is this a core clinks
5
or
seconds
support?
remaining.
I mean, I assume, like I said,
Together.
I assume it's going to be their mid, because usually Slizzy would be here, and usually if it's open, they're going to send Slizzy mid on the Clinks.
Dire team back.
Gotham picks up the Medusa here. Never a bad idea. Even after the nerf, Medusa is still coming in with like a ridiculously high win rate. Still only has like I think it actually is still just 2 negative win rates, though the there are a lot that are getting very close to that lauded 50% win rate against Medusa now.
Yeah, that nerf was only to the illusions, right? There was no actual like real nerf to the hero.
Well, the
10
illusions
seconds
were
remaining.
one of the
Dire
biggest,
team
nastiest parts of it. Just being able to basically kill a lane with the Medusa illusions is like a major, major factor, because like, it made it very, very, very difficult to push into Medusa unless you specifically had one of those instant illusion clear abilities.
5 seconds remaining.
Radiant should get an axe here. I'd say Legion, but you could swap out a duel. Swapping out a call isn't as big of a deal, but they're going heavy on physical damage for Dire, so I think if you get like an axe, go blade mail, they just blow themselves up.
For the record, speaking of potential POS 3 picks, one hero that is getting very close to that 50% against Medusa win rate, and is still in the roster, and is something that PvC likes to run on 3, and I believe it's going to be PvC 3 here, is the Pit Lord. Would certainly not be a bad idea in this game. Kinda sucks to have to lane it into Undying, but it's like, what are you going to do? It's not going to kill you, as long as you play smart around it.
Yeah, it's not the worst, because you drop your Firestorm, and even if Undying has a bunch of stolen strength, it still just tears them apart.
Well, one of the big things on that as well is that even with a bunch of stolen strength, as long as you're leveling into your E at least a little bit, the zombies really struggle to actually do anything to you. Instead, they're going to steal your suggestion for the Radiant and go with the Axe, which isn't bad either. I think it's harder for him to lane against the Undying.
I think it's a very hard lane
Radiant
for
team
Axe.
pick.
Yeah. You're gonna pick up the
Needed,
Viper.
like
Well,
a
you
range.
hate to see that. That is not
So-
what you want to see as Axe.
I'm looking at this Nyx ban by PVC. The Nyx seems like it's still good against Medusa, right? Because the ult taking half the mana
10
pool.
seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
we've seen, we, on one hand, I was gonna say, we have seen a Nyx
seconds
win against
remaining.
Medusa, but it was a lot to do with the fact that Medusa's just like, nah, I ain't gonna win this game, sorry. Just gave it up, but yeah, Nyx wouldn't have been a bad pick. Especially here, because he could have picked up Nyx here and then ran the Axe just a little down the line. Only problem with that is I don't think either of their supports play Nyx. Both Pohoro and Molsky are going to have a bit more of a limited
Dire
pool, and
team
Nyx
pick.
ain't in it.
Skywrath Mage.
Well, that's about the two worst pieces of news you could possibly hear if you're Axe. That's not great for
Radiant
Viper,
team
or not
back.
Viper. Not
Drow
great
Ranger.
for the Clinks either.
I mean, the Clinks just blows up the Skywrath, and then Viper has no armor, so
Well,
I think he gets shredded by
hypothetically-
physical damage too.
Hypothetically, the Clinks shreds the Skywrath, but the problem is that if there's ever a
10
situation where
seconds
Clinks
remaining.
does not get the initiative, Skywrath Mage are one of the worst possible heroes
5
he can run
seconds
into.
remaining.
If he doesn't have a BKB, he just dies instantly, basically. Now, if he gets the drop on Skywrath, he tears him to shreds. If Skywrath
Yeah.
gets the drop on him in any capacity, it's just like, well, all you can do on this hero is cast spells, and if you're silenced for an hour and a half, then you're in a bad way. It's very good against the Viper, though. You know, a lot of people kind of underestimate it, but Viper's main
Dire
utility
team
as a
back.
tanky hero, tanking up that magic damage. You actually get, even though he's an agi hero, and you're naturally going to say, oh, he's got the corrosive, he's got high armor, whatever, reality is if you start getting physical with Viper, he's going to get killed pretty fast. In particular, if he's laying against Drow, he's definitely down for a
10
bad
seconds
time, because that's a
remaining.
lot of fizz damage, and that can silence him, which is a very
5
bad
seconds
combination if you're
remaining.
Viper.
Radiant
Dire has no
team
magic
back.
damage, so I think the Viper
Yeah.
pick's really
Dire
bad. They're
team
picking it as a
back.
lane dominator, but they don't know what they're
I
laning
think
against.
I think they're picking it to drop the Breaku on Axe, which does make him like really suck for a long time. In fairness,
Big Boy doesn't play it though, right?
Big Boy doesn't play
I'm
Viper.
listening.
Everybody plays Viper. Go on now.
think
10
it's an offlane
seconds
Viper?
remaining.
It could potentially be. It could be Outflame. It could be
5
Gotham. It
seconds
would not be outlandish for it to be Gotham playing it at mid.
Yeah, true. Skywrath is a space cowboy hero for sure.
Yeah, the most likely situation, as I see it, is 5-1-3 or 5-1-2-4 at the moment.
I think they should ban like maybe just ban the Legion. You do have swap for the save, but it'd be better not, for him to not be in the pool.
Yeah.
Lane's okay against Drow, but like mid game, if he has even a little bit of a lane, I think Legion's gonna be a problem for Dire.
Yeah, Legion versus Clinks matchup. You remember what I said earlier about, if you get Clinks in the situation where Skywrath gets the jump on him, he's just gonna die every time. Well, imagine a reality in which Legion gets the jump on Clinks, and then he doesn't even get a chance to get the jump on Skywrath Mage.
Radiant
Doesn't even get the
team
chance to BKB and hopefully do something about that. He's just locked in that duel. He just dies in like a second and a
Dire
half.
team pick.
Or you could go with the Dragon Knight. I mean, that also works.
That's really bad. Drow's ult just ignores all of his armor. Drow's like a hard counter for Dragon Knight.
Yeah, it's a really hard argument,
10
I think,
seconds remaining.
to try and advocate for Dragon Knight here, because it's like,
5
you got a lot of
seconds
things working
remaining.
against you. It's good against the Clinks, and it's like bad against everything else. His mobility isn't the greatest after he blinks, so any kind of swap or stun out of the VS and he's done. If Axe has the Blade Mail, he's certainly not the worst call target in the world. Ironically, if you can call him in that Fireball, that's very nice. The as you said, the Drow versus Dragon Knight matchup is horrifically bad for Dragon Knight. Good against Clinks, but he's bad against everything else, and PVC has another pick just to really put it in the grave.
Yeah, the Dragon Knight surprises me. Because I would have expected like an Underlord for Big Boy.
We get the Void
Choose your
Spirit.
hero.
That's a support Clinks.
It is a support Clinks, okay.
And yeah.
I would be astounded if Molsky has really run support Clinks before. I guess we're gonna have to see it.
I think draft pretty heavily favors Dire here.
Yeah, I think if there's one downside, it's like I do think a lot of these guys are leaning heavily off of comfort, and on the other hand, the Gotham lineup is leaning heavily on it. Like, I've seen PVC do a lot of good work on a lot of pause 3s, but the blink and call type of pause 3, I don't know if I've seen, like, you know, he's had a good Mars game, basically, and that's as much as I'll say. So he's unproven on that. Bit of a question mark on that. We've seen some kind of question mark in all chat plays off the Pohohoro VS sometimes. It's very inconsistent. Sometimes it just owns, like, all the time through the game. It'll just dominate. And sometimes it's like you just kind of have weird swaps that just make you scratch your head, or dying with the abilities off cooldown, things like that on this hero. The Molsky Clinks, sorry Molsky, not a believer. I don't think you play that. I would be
Yeah, this
so
PVC lane's
surprised.
gonna feed. Line and Tristero aren't even like high MMR or anything. It's just a really hard lane for Axe. I think it's pretty much impossible.
Man, was that Clinks there? Why is he looking so big? Who has the weird backpack? Yeah, it was Clinks. He was a giant Clinks there. Very strange.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, I think that loading screen messes things up a little bit with the sizes.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that.
So Gotham's team is probably gonna smoke for first blood here. They've done it like every game that we've scrimmed against them.
Yeah, they, I'm trying to think. I actually stood in against the Gotham lineup in one of the Father's Day matches. I stood in on the Roxy Roro team. I don't remember if they tried that, but I remember that line was First Blood, and it was a pre-First Blood fight.
The Void Spirit picking up the Quelling Blade.
Yep.
I haven't seen that in a minute.
30 seconds to battle.
Okay, this is interesting. Gotham's assembled like a defensive line at the rune here, rather than trying to go out himself. Believes that the enemy team is going to be coming in. But this is very awkward, because the other team is just kind of waiting around this rune spot to, like, ambush. Except
I think
for,
it's a very easy first blood for Gotham's team.
I mean, Gotham's gonna lose out on bounties if they lose this one.
Battle begins.
Oh,
I think it's worth it. It's definitely worth it because you still get one of the bounties.
Yep. It is a 3-for-1 split, but PVC went back to the showers there. Not the best
yeah,
situation.
I expected more out of PVC team there.
See, they're just gonna kill PVC again though, because it's a hard lane, and then the lane's just completely over for him.
It's very awkward. It's like,
Giving up the ward, yeah.
you, kind of have the situation where it's like, you kind of had to commit to that or just don't do it on the PVC lineup. It's like, either everybody had to be ready to go all in on that, or nobody at all. It's just kind of PVC ended up, even though he's the captain of the team, it felt like PVC just kind of ended up, just almost left out to dry there. Just him and Clinks, the only ones really doing anything. Just not great to have a 2v5 like
Dire's
that.
courier has been killed.
I think this Undying should have started either Ring of Protection or like Boots or something, because the Clinks is just gonna kite him. He needs to be hitting Axe.
Well, with the stabilization now underway, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the whole stream, the roll call. So, for the Gotham team, pause 1, you've got Code Line playing Medusa. Pause 2, captain of the team, you've got Gotham playing Viper. Pause 3, Big Boy LaCroix on the
You got
Dragon
next
Knight.
one.
Pause 4, Space Cowboy on the Skywrath Mage. And pause 5, you've got Tristero on the Undying again. And Pohohoro just randomly died in the middle of the roll calls. Let's see how that happened real quick. Okay, just got caught here while trying to play with the creep equilibrium. Did not work out. Space Cowboy captures this line of creeps and tries to deliver them to Dragon Knight, but kind of awkward. Timed for the PVC pipe team. Pause 1, Godlike Matt on the Drow Ranger. Pause 2, that's not where 2s live. Pause 2, standing in for Slizzy, you've got Darth Cherrywood on the Void Spirit. Pause 3, you've got PVC Pipe, captain of the team, on the Axe. Pause 4, 1-up Molsky, 1-up Molsky on the Clinks. And pause 5, you have, it's not your pause 5, Pohohoro on the Vengeful Spirit. Space Cowboy in a bit of a rough spot here. Hammer with that blood grenade. The multi-shot coming out, but doesn't quite get the job done, so the blood grenade's damage is going to finish it there. Awkward situation for Dragon Knight now. Not as awkward as it could be. All the Frost Arrow is really going to do is just annoy him a little bit. Once he gets into that Dragon Blood a little bit more, it's going to start getting considerably worse.
Oh no.
Base Cowboy feeding.
Means nothing.
I'm sure
Easy
you're
lane.
glad to see this.
They just need to put him on a core hero. He has no brain when playing support.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely positively true. Big Boy LaCroix here now has to sustain a load of damage before he actually has more than 2 levels of Dragon Blood, which is not great. I don't like Pohohoro trying to pull here. I think you can actually just get into a position where you can just dive for him. Like, look at what Godlike Matt's doing, and Pohohoro is pulling the wave right now. A little awkward. That's communication for you. It's like, it's not a bad thing to pull the wave, obviously, but it's like in that specific moment, that could have been a dead Dragon Knight. A dead Dragon Knight is a very nice thing, him losing out on XP. It's like one of the worst heroes he can be in an XP deficit on. Like, if your Dragon Blood is falling behind what the enemy is doing to you damage-wise, and you're in a really rough position. And that can easily start to happen if you take some spills in lane as DK.
Can we go back mid?
Bottom is missing,
Yeah, sure.
according to Axe.
So this matchup is super weird because he's got 3 points in his Q on Viper,
Using it.
but Void Spirit's full health.
Yeah, that is
And I've
weird.
been watching. He's basically full health the whole time.
And what's even more weird is PVC's winning bottom.
I mean, it's not all that weird. It's, you know, you're looking at a guy who's pretty much learning his pause 1 here.
Oh, is he not a pause 1 player?
Oh, he's super not a pause 1 player. He's like, yeah. You remember when PVC was doing pause 1 last season?
Vaguely?
Yeah, it's kind of that again, basically.
Okay.
Bottom is missing, according to
Not like
Axe.
Matt, of course. Not like you would know this, Cryptic, because I don't know what situation you would ever ran into this guy. He's not a pause 1 player either. He does like to be a greedy guy,
Bottom
but
is missing,
not a pause 1
according to
player.
Axe.
As a result, you may see some interesting situations. Gotham here, he's got Darth Cherrywood. This is actually a little compromising. He did not get the kill, but Cherrywood is completely out of region.
Yeah, he would have got the kill if he would have been doing that basically the whole lane.
That right there is a big deal. Gotham getting the rune instead of Cherrywood. Like, if
Yeah,
Cherrywood had
even
gotten
worse.
it, I think he wins the lane. Maybe not wins the lane, but I think he doesn't lose the lane, and now he definitely loses it being that low.
Yeah, they've actually had to pull Molsky in from bot to come up here and be a
Give him a
threatening enough
tango.
presence for Viper. 6 seconds until Viper's able to strike again. Molsky coming in from the sides, good flanking maneuver there. Gotham does not see it coming, even though he knew Molsky was around here. He's only going to go for the low kill. That was really interesting. I don't know.
There is nothing for
He must have assumed it was a core Clinks, right?
There's no way.
Really weird.
I think he just went for what he thought he could kill. He might not have realized he could have killed the Void Spirit there.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. If he gets a kill on the Void Spirit before he goes down, that is A-okay, basically. But unfortunate. Meanwhile, in the 1v2 at bot.
I think Gotham needs to be standing more aggressively mid. He's just kind of sitting in the creep wave when he should be on the Void Spirit side. Like
Yeah,
up on the high ground.
Yeah, if you've got, well, I know why you don't want to be up here
Void
necessarily.
Spirit should not be that close at all. He should not be able to get that close.
Certainly, like,
Yeah, you don't want to get pulled
when
under tower.
when you use poison attack, if you manually cast it rather than auto casting it, you do not draw the creeps aggro. It's very good for just free casual harass. You could definitely be doing a little bit more of that. Like, Viper is a very mana-intensive hero, but the solution to that is not to be as conservative as possible, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not even that. He's a lane dominator, so he's strong right now. He needs to be pressing that against the Void Spirit. Even if he does get pulled under the tower, just keeping him out of XP range or as far away from the wave as he can is going to help him out.
You can fake out the ult too. Just pump it, and then he'll do his whatever it's called, dissimulate, and then just hit him when he comes out of it.
Speaking of fake out there, it was a little bit interesting. You saw Hohohoro drop skills on the Dragon Knight there. Skywrath Mage reveals his position, and Matt immediately starts a multi-shot at it, thinking that the Skywrath's low enough for the kill, which he's not, but he almost is. Speaking of almost is, ooh. Okay, this is probably not going anywhere then. Dragon Breath came out at a very good time. Nope. He's right in the lightning there. He is right in the lightning. He finds himself shocked. Overcommitted to try and stay there, I think, a little bit much.
He can't come back either. Drow's 6.
My path leads to
It's very awkward.
Radiant's courier
At the
has
very
been
least,
killed.
Skyrath has his arcs, so there's that. And Tristero's
Radiant's
courier
top
just
tower
died.
is under attack.
And Tristero's courier might die, but Axe is out of mana. He's so desperate to get some back. Just popped a wand with like no charges on it just to try and get some mana. Clinks has nothing for him. Clinks just looks at him and shrugs.
I think should be rotating. He doesn't need to be here anymore.
Alright, Medusa just evaporated. Okay, both Claws lungs just evaporated. We'll continue watching this fight bot, PVC pipe. Gonna try and TP away. Successfully TP away
Dyer's courier has been killed.
from his encounter with Viper there.
That's the
He
new
now
level
has an
5
awkward
thing.
situation, but
Radiant's
this
bottom
Gotham
tower
team
is
has
under
no
attack.
stuns at all, except for on big boys,
Dyer's
so
top
everyone who
tower is under
TPs can
attack.
just get away. I mean, like, there's
Dyer's
barely any
structures
CC
are
in this
fortified.
entire game. You've got
Radiant's
the
middle
Dragon
tower
Knight
is
stun,
under attack.
you've got
Dyer's top
the
tower is under
VS
attack.
stun. It's not VS. You got the VS stun, and then you got the Axe Call, and that's it until Medusa gets Axe.
It's a good play from Dyer.
Hohoro has given godlike Matt his spark of courage.
Talking about that mid matchup though, I didn't see where Gotham's last hits were 52 against the 36 Void Spirit.
Well, this is awkward.
bottom is
Lynx
missing.
is missing. Good timing on that.
Tower is under attack.
You still would
Yep, just as I tried to talk him up.
Could not have come at a better
but
time.
it would have
That Clinks is
Lucky
missing.
shield room.
Axe got the kill on the Medusa, and that's
Radiant's middle
great, but if
tower
Molsky's
is
not
under
here, he
attack.
has nothing to do in this lane. He is, okay. Well, he kind of gets code line to just completely randomly ult there, so that's got to count for something. Okay, Darth Cherrywood is in this lane. Void's here, they have some real potential. Axe whiffs a Culling Blade because Undying hits his wand, and Axe cries, then he dies. Uh-oh.
Dire's middle tower is under
Good
attack.
tombstone.
indeed.
As soon as he drops that tombstone, I think it's pretty hard for them to get away because the Viper's gonna slow him, gonna spawn more. They can't really fight and kill it either.
Despite despite having the advantage as soon as just 1 or 2 minutes ago, the gold advantage is now just linear in favor of Dire, or in favor of Radiant. Everybody on the Gotham lineup well ahead of their equivalent. Drow has abandoned ship on this lane at top, which I think is a little interesting. I don't think this is I know it's Dragon Knight, and I know he has Dragon Blood. He's not even like skill on that. I think he can afford to be a little bit more forceful here. Like, he's gonna find Space Cowboy here, and like Space Cowboy is just gonna barely inch away with just a pinch of health. Imagine what you could do if you stayed here instead of just ceding to the Dragon Knight, you know?
You know, after having played the Gotham team twice, I think what they're good at is just picking lineups that are very easy to execute. Like, there's really no way you can fuck up a Dragon Knight pick or a Viper pick or, you know, Deuce Undying.
It's certainly not right now. Gotham gets his shard. It's gonna be very nasty. Obviously, you can't do that yet. It's not even time. But
I don't know if he even needs his shard. They've got a tower hitter already with the DK Medusa
Listen.
front line.
listen. Let me break it down for you like this, okay? Statistically, globally, if you get shard on Viper, your win rate immediately goes up by 10%. It is ridiculously good. I don't care about how many tower hitters you already have. The ability to... It does so much for you. It blows up the armor of towers, it blows up the armor of whoever you're looking at, and it also pretty dramatically increases the magic damage that they take as well, from increasing the amount of maximum stacks they have. It does not matter what team you're on, always get that shard.
I didn't even know it did damage to
Dire's
him for
bottom
magic
tower
spells.
is under attack.
Yeah, what it does is the poison
Radiant's
attack
top tower
gives
is
you
under
magic
attack.
resist break every stack it
Dire's
has.
middle tower is
And the shard, in addition to its other effects, increases the maximum amount of stacks. So, with max stacks, you're doing by Pahara. With max stacks, you were doing a ridiculous amount of magic damage. I believe with the shard, you're actually outdoing Anti-Mage's counterspell. And Molsky's just gonna get shredded here.
Yeah, Vine kind of going off.
Yeah, they have nothing to stop this Medusa at all, it doesn't feel like. Even, like, the, no, don't get me wrong here, Undying's playing a very good Vanguard, Gotham showed up at a good time here and it just caused trouble. But it feels like, even when Medusa is in a very compromising position, like, she got killed once, and since that happened, it's not even really looked all that close to killing her. Big Boy LaCroix is now in this lane as well.
So they picked the axe to counter the Medusa, right? With the Culling Blade?
Like,
The Drow was to
logically.
counter Booster.
But I don't even think Medusa's in range for that anymore.
No, I don't
The
believe
health
so,
pool.
no. And even if she was, she has a magic wand and inexplicably 3 more branches, so, you know.
Yep, and the Dragonlance to boost it even more. Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He's just gonna group up as 5 and take
Dire's bottom
towers.
tower has fallen.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower is
Not much
under
they can
attack.
do. Where's Space Cowboy?
Huh?
I see no Skywrath.
Space Cowboy's right here. You made me pan the camera away looking for him, and he was literally in the shot when he said that.
He has like done nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Chistero is just gonna get shopped here, but to get okay, pretty solid swap. It's gonna be less solid if he just goes in here, gets greedy, because that means he's gonna find Big Boy LaCroix and die. But they do
They're
get
not
the chop
doing
on Medusa. Okay. This turned from not worth to super worth really quick.
Yeah.
Chop you down to
Well,
size.
valuable lesson learned. You can't do anything on this team without Viper there. He is very necessary for this lineup to work at the moment.
I think Viper's just dead.
Yeah. He is going to get the
Matt has
kill
no
on
mana.
Axe.
Is under attack.
Oh no, they're not. That's very weird. They're not going to walk uphill for that, even though all that's up is Undying. It's a little hesitant.
Dire's
I
top
think he
tower
runs away
is
if they
under
don't have a
attack.
slow for him.
Yeah, gee, it'd be a real shame if this guy didn't have a slow for him.
I mean,
It
he
would
had no
be-
man.
That's true. He has those treads. He has that wand. This thing's pretty cheap, you know.
Good swapping and LB12.
Not me.
I never lost control. Big Boy LaCroix sailing straight to Ags. He's probably gonna hit Ags before he gets
Dire's
level
middle
3
tower
as
is
well.
under attack.
Isn't bad. If only
Yeah, I've
he
heard
would like to
people-
get the Elder Dragon form pretty quick.
Yeah, I've heard people say that you don't go Ags until you have maxed out Dragon form, but I don't think that's true.
I mean,
Because I think level 2 puts you at the slow, the ice, the
Yep.
blue dragon. So level 2 makes it worth it still. Because then you got the slow.
you've got the slow. You've got it already when you level up, and it's... Dragon Knight is definitely one of the heroes where it's not that bad stats-wise. It's not as good as like a universal hero, don't get me wrong. But, you know, it's just... You know, you get 10 strength, you get 175 health. On Dragon Knight, every point of health that you get matters a little
Radiant's
more than it
middle
does for
tower
most
is
people,
under
because your
attack.
region is so much. So having an early Ags is not even statistically that bad of an
Dire's
investment for
top
him.
tower is under attack.
In,
Radiant's middle tower
even
is
if you
under
ignore
attack.
the dragon part of it. And having some mana is not bad either on him. It's likely, like I said, he's going to get it about the time he hits 3. Okay.
Top tower is fallen.
Very aggressive go here from Dire. Viper steer this time. Let's see if it changes anything. Axe is going to go down. PK is going to go down.
Offlaner support.
Random
offlaner
people going
support.
down everywhere. Oh, Void Spirit just randomly dies.
That's what happens when you use all your spells to aggressively. You can't get out.
Yeah, he just kind of played the piano there, and nothing much was done to get rid of the Tombstone, get rid of the Undying Tricks till it was too late. This is definitely one of the supports you would much rather see die early in a fight. The longer things go, the harder it's going to get for you. The Strength Steal, the Soul Rip, the Tombstone zombies adding up, and of course he has the Police as well. Letting him just completely live there. I mean, Clinks went behind and tried to get rid of him, but I mean, look at what Clinks has right now. This is not gonna kill
Radiant's
Undying,
bottom
sorry.
tower is under attack.
Gonna need a little more than that, especially if Undying has finished up his mechanism. I mean, you have 1 level on him, that's not saying that much. Skywrath Mage picks up the shard. Your boy here gets his own, very own shard. Gets his, this interesting thing, which I've never seen anybody do anything with yet, even though I think it could actually be pretty good. The only time I've seen anybody get this shard is just dropping off of Tormentor, basically. This is a quite vulnerable
Radiant's
looking
middle tower
T1
is under
here.
attack. Radiant structure is
Okay.
not fortified.
They don't want to actually commit to trying to chase the Void Spirit here. I think maybe they think it's a bait or something. Wasn't actually. I think if they actually commit on him when he's beating the tower, then they actually kill him, but they didn't want to do that.
Radiant's
Somebody
bottom
deny this
tower
thing, please.
is under attack.
There we go. Gotham starts pinging it if people start denying it.
Radiant's middle tower has
Almost
been
like they hear you.
denied.
Yeah, it's true. I'm broadcasting a week and 3 days into the past. Point Booster is about to come in for the DK, so that Ags is going to be complete, actually. Yeah, he's actually going to get it before he gets level 2 of his ult.
What happens?
I'll take that.
No shard on the Viper, making me cringe, bro.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So what do you think Dyer has to do to get back into the game?
That's
Radiant
usually what I have
structures
Randy
are fortified.
talk about at this point. I think what they really need to do, I mean, if it was like 2 or 3 patches ago, the answer would be Drow goes into the jungle for 30
Radiant's top
minutes while the
tower
rest
is
of the
under
team
attack.
just buys time. You can't really do
Radiant's
that
top
anymore.
tower
That's
has
not
fallen.
really particularly a good option at this point. I think it's just got to start organizing these fights a little better.
Radiant's top
You
tower is
really
under
want to
attack.
start off by getting another swap pick off. That would be fantastic. Okay, Axe shows up right after the enemy team takes a shard and just doesn't die. He is tanking through a hell of a lot here. Not that much though. Double damage popped on the Void Spirit, but he's looking like he's gonna die before he gets much done with it.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah,
is
for some
under
reason the
attack.
Void Spirit went on the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, they're just fighting in a tomb again. It's not a good axe game. Like, it's really hard to call someone and kill them.
Yeah, you really need, like what you really need is you need to swap with Drow position in such a way that she can capitalize on it. That's basically how you need to start fights, and then you need Axe to be directing traffic. Like, you know, VS, like,
Dire's
swap
bottom
somebody from
tower
fog or
has
smoke or
fallen.
something like that. Axe jumps
Radiant's
in
middle
to
tower
the
is
people
under
who
attack.
scramble to try and deal with her, and, you know, then you can take a fight from there, I think. Because then you're going to have Radiant in a very unfair situation. But that's what they need to do. And so far, they've been trying to start these fights with Axe going in and calling, and it's just not working. It's especially not going to work if he goes for BKB here. This is a little confusing, I gotta say. I understand that you don't want to be inside the break goo as Axe. It really sucks a lot. But, like, you can deal with break goo either by using your BKB or using your blade mail. Except one of those does damage to the other guy when it happens, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It's a very, yeah. I mean, he might be getting it to try and make sure he doesn't get decayed. He might be getting it to dodge the Dragonite stun or the Skywrath silence, but I don't know. Those things are not really like
Dire's
the
middle tower is
number
under
one
attack.
concern for Axe. It doesn't matter if you don't die immediately if you still have no real credible way to kill anybody, you know?
I think he needs a Lotus Orb. You can purge the Skywrath silence, and then everything else they have is targeted, like DK stun, all the Skywrath spells.
I mean, first
potentially
things
Snake.
first. In any case, the first thing you need in a match like this is absolutely blade mail. Like, what are you gonna do in this match without it? Besides, no damage.
Radiant are scanning.
So, items aside, from what I've been seeing, their target priority on
Radiant's
Dyer
bottom tower
is kind of
under
scuffed.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Void Spirit double damage, and the Skywrath walks away from it, and Undying walks away from it.
I'm gonna give
That
everybody
shouldn't
at
have
home. Here's the inside pause 3 taker. You ready? Here's how you win against Dragon Knight. You pretend he doesn't exist. If you can't bring him 100 to 0, alright, Gotham takes Aegis, captain of the team, I guess. If you can't bring him down 100 to 0 very quickly, one way or the other, you just pretend he doesn't exist. He's going to stun and bully one guy, but he isn't even leveling his stuns, so that's like fine. That's whatever. Don't try to pop the Void Spirit on him. Don't try to jump the Clinks on him or try to call him. You need the calls. Well, I mean, what you really need to do, if you really want to credibly win a fight on this lineup, is you need to get rid of this guy,
Radiant's middle
and you need to
tower
get
is
rid of
under
this guy.
attack.
Cryptic, I'd like to put you in a time machine here. Do you remember what you said about the Skywrath Clinks matchup way back in pick phase?
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah, Clinks
is under
blows him up,
attack.
but then, I mean, Skywrath definitely can blow him up if he's ahead.
The problem here is that it has not happened like one time in this entire game. This guy has, He's got some deaths, but 2 of those were from lane phase. He's basically just scrapped through most of this game, like, completely unhindered. He's made it through completely
Radiant's
unharmed.
bottom tower
Everybody
is
is
under
kind of
attack.
playing into the exact thing that the enemy team wants them to. It's like, you've got a lot of damage that comes in on Medusa, even though she's not really doing that much herself at this point. She's taking a big brunt of the damage, and you don't have any diffy buyers on this team anyway, let alone an actual Diffusal Blade, so you're not doing anything to her when she's out front. The Dragon Knight is taking up so much punishment, so many things are coming down on his head. You know, it seems like pretty much... Okay, that's good. Getting the random pick on the Undying there is a great way to start the fight. Got a swamp that's going to save the Void Spirit. Clinks won't be so lucky.
Yeah, Molsky's not playing the hero right. He needs to be... Well, now he can't really, but like earlier he needed to be like doing less babysitting and more running around with another support for pickoffs or
Yeah.
with the axe or something.
If you...
'Cause he doesn't team fight.
You might recall something I said about this way back at the beginning of the game. Which was, I don't believe he does this. I still don't believe he does. I don't think he's ever played this hero as not a core. It's not terribly surprising to see him being a little confused on what to do as a support. Okay. Void Spirit's just gonna die in the time of 1 silence. Axe calls nothing because he stepped into the break goo! Oh no! That would have been a kill on Viper. Oh, he got in his Aegis. Okay, Medusa
I think this is what Dire needs to do. The Skywrath and the Viper are doing a ton of damage in fights, and those are actually 2 of the heroes that they can easily kill because they have heavy physical damage.
Yeah.
So
Sweep the
they just
support
need to
lines.
focus them first. Yeah.
Sweep the support lines, and then just work from work on the core starting with Viper. Viper, Medusa, DK. Unless DK is for some reason doing like he doesn't have any auras. His stun still isn't max leveled, even though he's got a pretty good level advantage. Like, you can, even with the Elder Dragon form, you can kind of work around this guy's presence and fights just fine. Like, it's going to be less ideal than if you, in the perfect world where you could just get in his face and kill him, but you don't live in that world. You live in the phase where you can't kill him. That's okay, it doesn't do any damage to you either. Gotta go for the takeoff here.
Hadn't gone for a shard either.
Lincoln's just got revealed on the Void Spirit there.
They need to stop trying to kill LaCroix and kill the Viper. Matt's got the right idea. Like, he just dies again with a call here.
They don't want it.
Oh,
They're afraid of the
no.
retaliation. Even before that miss, everyone was already running away.
Dire's bottom
That's still a
tower
win
is under
for
attack.
them.
Yeah, it's still not bad. Okay, Darth Cherry just
Void
randomly
doesn't
dies.
die.
Okay. Yeah, that Lincoln Sphere is going to be... You know, if you want one even more annoying thing, it's like... The #1 way they had to kill Void Spirit was with the Dragon Knight stun, and that's gone now, so they...
Is my internet bad or is Amani's internet bad?
I don't know. It's probably probably mine, because you just interrupted me in the middle of a sentence. Not a good sign.
It's definitely not like anything. Sorry.
It's okay. Everybody on the recording will know what's going on. Everything will be good in this world.
Has fallen.
I hope. Anyway. Oh, what was I on about? Yeah, the Lincoln's purchase on the Void Spirit here. Very, very good.
Yes. Yeah, Lincoln's is a fantastic item in this game.
Okay, they just kind of randomly killed Axe over here. That was not the BKB, 9-second BKB that you want.
Does Gotham have Shard yet?
No, he doesn't. He's going to be part of the elusive group of like 43% of Vipers who win a game without one, maybe at this rate.
Yusa should be up there hitting the tower.
He's got better things to do.
Radiant's top tower is under
They
attack.
got.
I mean, they could just
yeah.
have... They could just have the Dragon Knight do it, but... No reason not to have them both.
Greaves on the Undying is one other reason to kill him like as soon as possible in these fights. The Panic Guardian aura thing You don't want everybody to be having the Guardian Aura. I mean, it's basically useless on Medusa. She's under 25% HP. She's already dead. But it's like, do you really want this guy to have, like, double his already crazy regen and double his already crazy armor? Do you really want this guy to have a load of armor and regen? Like, you don't. Get rid of the Graves. Get rid of that Undying. It is more and more imperative as this game goes on that that Undying dies quickly.
What's the DK building?
What is Donkey Kong building? He is going for Octarine.
I think he needs an AC. A lot of armor against their team.
Yeah,
really
I
good.
would be inclined to agree with that. It's not the most ideal thing against Drow, but...
I think this is the new standard Dragon Knight build. It's more of a carry build, I think, but...
Yeah, I mean, you do kind of want the AC, because, like, hypothetically it's not great against Drow, but it's really good against everybody else on that lineup, and more importantly, it's going to help you push down towers.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Well, speaking
Yeah,
of
imagine
helping,
how
I mean,
fast those towers melt with AC and Viper
Radiant's
Shard.
bottom tower
yeah, it
is
would
under
be
attack.
legitimately, like, seconds for every building. It's a great... You know, the thing I said before about the Viper Shard, it's like,
Radiant are scanning.
when you're pushing, it's a great steroid for somebody who's already good at pushing, and it just is also good on its own. If Viper and DK with AC are both putting fire on a single tower, it is just comically quickly it's gonna die. Which is really good for going uphill. Like, you really... A great way to start one of these uphills would be DK and Viper take it out from range before any real retaliation comes out. With, of course, measures put into place somewhere, somehow, to stop them from getting swapped. But so far, it's not really looking like swapping is actually the end of the world for these guys. Or your team is not the greatest at getting rid of them, I don't think, when they're swapped. Okay. Well, in theory, it was a good go on the Skywrath mage there, but it kind of turned around on them in a bad way.
Kinda seemed like they were unsure on whether or not they won it.
pvcpipe is doing a good job bringing this out. He's trying to bait them as much as possible into taking a chase, but chase is over. Goodbye, PVC.
If you BKB there, you just need to TP. You can't try and run.
The hell is that animation? I understand why he tried to run there, but it definitely was not the play in the end. I do have to question a little bit if you just die if you BKB TP anyway, because his ability to live against this lineup is still basically nothing.
Yeah,
they got
you
a lot of
might.
money.
You definitely die if you run though.
I don't know, I think you actually might have a better chance getting out of there running than trying to TP. Because at least when you're running, you have items that you could potentially use to help the running proceed. 2 Force Staffs is going to get him a lot of distance.
That's fair.
Whereas TP just kind of stand there in Skywrath. The Skywrath drop Mystic Flare on you! And
Good
Roche
impression.
Roche snaps Undying's neck on his way to his pit. Luckily, Undying's already a zombie, so snapping his neck, not really very effective.
Yeah, whenever I show my son that hero, he just says, "Zombie! Zombie dance!" And then I show him the taunt, and he's happy.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna have Carp Jr. cast with us one day.
Could be good, yeah.
Oh, Viper's got the shard! Look at this Roche die. They're actually coming in. The Roche is gonna be dead before they do anything. Okay, that's a good call. Oh my god, he didn't get the Aegis up.
Deny it. At least grab it.
Yeah.
It's just
Somebody!
Radiant's middle
Big boy
tower
takes it.
is under attack.
oh, this is a really good fight for Dire.
Yeah, this is, he did a really crazy amount of damage there. Somebody pick up an item right before that? God like Matt must have just got his butterfly or something there.
I mean, it was a split shot into the call. That was really big.
I don't think I would have predicted this fight to come out this way for the Radiant, especially considering they kind of saw it coming and reacted to it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, that's very awkward. They didn't drop the
Radiant
Aegis.
structures are fortified.
Very awkward.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that was really weird. They had like a solid 5 seconds to pick it up and nobody grabbed it. There were like 3 heroes right next to it.
Yeah, it seemed like a communication issue.
Yeah, I imagine nobody... Everybody was... Because Axe calls when Roche still has a okay amount of HP left. I imagine just nobody's making space in the middle of the fight. Dire very quickly trying to push in top T3, but they're saying, wait, never mind. Actually, we're still at a disadvantage here. We're still a team with a net worth deficit against the Medusa, so we better not push our luck too much here, which is probably for the best. Big Boy LaCroix. Okay, this could be a very easy kill. Okay, not if he just immediately dodges. Okay, yeah, no, that needed to not happen. They needed
to pop Lincolns too.
Yeah, they needed to start with the with something else to pop the Lincolns. They needed to start with the Dragonite stun there.
I mean, they can't start with Dragonite stun either, because then if they silence him, he just pops Manta. So it's got to be something and then the DK stun.
Like Atos from the Void, or hit him with a Q, or doesn't W pop Lincolns?
Radiant's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
think it does.
Well, that's a split audience. Alright, vote in the comments now.
Yeah, it's not targeted, it just kind of homes in on the nearest person.
Yeah. Big Boy Pohohoro gonna have a little bit of a meeting in the minds here. Big Boy wins! Okay, Axe is in a really awkward spot. I think maybe one of the things is that historically they've been keeping the Axe and the Break Goo in fights, but that time they just couldn't do it. Oh man, everybody in that fight just wishing with every fiber there being that Medusa had the Axe there. Okay, Axe just called a Medusa illusion, and that's all he called. Give the hype. I mean, what can you say? It happens. It's okay. Big Boy LaCroix got him right back by stunning an illusion of Void Spirit, not the real thing.
Yeah, I think with those Void Spirit items, he should be able to kill the Skywrath.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know who he went on that fight, but he should always be going on that Skywrath.
I don't know, he's got the greater whatever, the greater Lotus. I think without it he kills Skywrath.
Dire structures are falling.
I like that very awkward position there. He's gonna turn around, make it awkward and kind. Good Manta usage there. Cheese comes out. I believe on the Viper, does not keep him alive. They're having a real tough time getting around the Drow, but unfortunately for her, Drow's kind of got an equally hard time getting through the Medusa and her illusions. Though it's not going to matter if it's a 1v5.
Yeah, Dire's cutting down the lead.
Yeah. Down to a 1k net worth advantage here.
Double damage.
We got some real problems with this Drow. And unfortunately, the Dragon Knight is not really able to address those, especially now with the way he's building. If you had like a Heaven's Halberd up on this Dragon Knight, you'd be in a very nice situation right now, but it's not the situation we live in. That's not reality.
I think if you're Radiant right now, you want to be smoking up and trying to get a pick, because like that's all they need to go high ground, but they haven't been able to do it for 10 minutes.
Well, even in that fight, it's like they came in with 2 already dead, and they still got smoked by the drow. They need her, is really what they need. They don't need a pick, they need her. Some way of dealing with her, something to go. And that's another situation, unfortunately, where the AC probably helps a lot. At least if the AC is up, this T3 dies. That much is basically for sure. Axe has his blade mail, and he has a full magic wand. He's moving up in the world. Gotham going for his Aghanim Scepter here, which could help against the Drow, but that's a very short-range skill. He's definitely going to need to get awkwardly close to her, which is not the easiest thing to do as a Viper with only a Hurricane Pike for your mobility.
I think Viper should get a Hex. If you can Hex the Drow, I think she's a lot easier to kill.
I think it would be... like, I think the game would already stop being competitive by the point... Well, I know, it actually has like 1,000,000 gold, so I guess not. Yeah, probably wouldn't be bad. So I do feel like if Viper body slams the Drow, she's also 100% dead, but that's quite a bit harder than a much longer range axe. He has changed his mind, he's instead gone for BKB. Okay.
That seems really weird.
Yeah, I don't like it. The only thing that does is help you against some of the Void Spirit damage and the Vent Stun, yeah. Splinks has no magic damage. Drow Ranger has no magic damage. Does stop the Axe Blade Mail from hitting him on the backside, but like that, again, that really shouldn't be your concern on Viper if you're not being weird. Medusa gets her Aghanim Shard. Which means it is now a 5-shard lineup on the Radiant.
I think Dusa Ags would actually be pretty helpful for them too.
Yeah, it would be super good. She's not going for it. She's not going to go for it probably unless they get it off next Roche. But it would be super duper duper good here. Just the ability, just the #1 thing they're lacking on is stun. And that would help them out a lot.
Physical damage amp.
But I mean, really, in this game, honestly, the more important thing is just be the stone stunning you. Like, they have so few ways to catch people. The Dire has a lot of ability to just move people around at whim. You put the stone on Drow's head, and she finds it a lot harder to get away all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a pretty good setup for the Medusa ult, too.
Yep. Just get some power play there. pvcpipe, the axe, has gotten himself an overwhelming blink. Blink's got Phylactery. Okay. Does that work? Does that work on Tarbomb?
It does, yep.
Okay, that's good.
Drow has 1,000,000 attack speed.
Dire are scanning.
Let's see. Actually, she has 475 attack speed, but you're close.
It's almost 1,000,000.
Yeah, relatively speaking. I mean, it's closer to 1,000,000 than it is to 0.00000000001.
Math.
Spirit, I believe, going for a harpoon. I think this Echo Saber is actually fresh. Or he could have just fresh.
He's had it for a while.
Oh, he's got it?
Yeah,
he's
pretty
got
good.
Scotty?
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
Scotty's new.
Radiant's
Okay.
bottom tower
He's
has
just playing
fallen.
inventory Jenga with the Echo Saber, them just making it look like he'd just gotten it, which would have been weird. Drow is going to attempt to commit Viper's side here. Viper's actually a lot scarier when you can't silence them, but not scary enough to deal with a Drow who has a Satanic now. So that's a 1v1 that Gotham can really just no longer win, and he gets a tip for it. Oh, that's good.
You're gonna get Roche off this?
I was worried PVC was going to take the full damage of that Skywrath Q, but no such luck. I think if there's one thing this match shows, it's that this Dragon Knight guy still ain't it. Big Boy LaGroy had an amazing start. He had a lot of really good goes, and it feels like Void Spirit bought one item and he doesn't matter anymore.
He's been farming Octarine for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. He's gonna have it soon, so there's that at least. Yeah, maybe this guy can be if the Axe into Octarine build. That's quite it, at the very least. Very fast Roche. She's going to drop here for the Void Spirit. He does not want this Refresher Shard. I guess that's going to go to Vengeful Spirit. There we go. At least she's going to hold on to it for now. They're making a really aggressive go here. They do have the real Medusa. Axe opted not to use his Blade Mail. Alright. That was weird. That was very unfortunate. That could have been like a monumental kill if they get Aegis and then just randomly pick Medusa in the middle of the jungle, but passive blame mail, what can you do? WC, YD.
Could you pull up the scoreboard real quick? I want to see
Sure
what the
thing.
level of disparity is.
Oh, you can look at a nice, perfect graph. The Dire have a 2-level advantage XP wise.
Yeah, the Drow's level 27.
Look at DK here. We're just gonna get away, more than likely. They're
Can't fucking move.
nobody can hold on to an advantage in this game because nobody can catch anybody. Every time everyone gets ahead, the other team just starts slipping through their fingers just because nobody has a stun.
Easy game of just walk away.
Yeah. Right-click fountain and live. Well played, says Gotham. We're gonna drop a bunch of random skills on Drow Ranger, who basically no longer takes any damage from it. We're taking a bath in this fireball from Dragon Knight and is still at full health.
See how they deal with Drow.
They did just get this on her, which is very nice.
Dire's bottom tower
Oh
is
shit,
under
I forgot
attack.
too. This was before
Dire's
the
bottom
patch
tower has
where they
fallen.
Yes.
nerfed Dusa.
The Viper here gets EB response. Okay, this is horrible all of a sudden. Okay, this is unhorribling for the Dire here. Godlike Matt is now an appropriate name, but Viper's here.
Can you kill twice?
Yeah, VS is... Okay, yeah, she's dead. Godlike Matt, very appropriately, does not look like he's gonna be... Okay, okay. No. No, that was...
It's a good try.
That was, yeah.
Oh, what was that?
no.
Does
no.
lifesteal only work on like if you deal damage to their health? Like, I'm pretty sure she popped Satanic and it did nothing because she was hitting Dusa.
I'm not 100% sure, I believe so.
Sucks.
Kind of interesting to know though.
Yeah. I know it doesn't work on shields. Like if you hit the Tormentor with lifesteal, it doesn't do anything.
Well, that was... really unfortunate. Okay, it could get worse with Void Spirit. Okay, never mind. Void Spirit will not.
Dire's
Chris
bottom
got himself
barracks are under
a
attack.
Gleipnir.
in my veins.
It's very unfortunate that TP to bot that happened right before the fight for Dire at mid there. Because they did have somebody go back for the Viper there. And maybe, honestly, I mean, they would have lost a Rax, but maybe, honestly, it was worth the gamble of trading your Rax for at least potentially theirs. Instead, they lose a T3 and also their Aegis and also everybody on their team. Not exactly equivalent.
And buyback on Drow's down. Not ideal.
70-minute games, I can already tell.
Axe just got a halberd. Okay. That's a very awkward item to get on Axe. You really don't usually want to be using that. Axe found the Viper here in the GG jungle, but he has been completely bamboozled by him.
I think at this point in the game, counter helix damage doesn't do much, though. Halberd's probably fine.
Well, it's not a matter of the counter helix you're worried about there. It's a matter of this bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is going to be, at this point, still most of your damage output. In fact, for the rest of the game, most of your damage output. It's not the most ideal thing. We're just getting fairly close to Daedalus here.
Do you think it would have been better for Axe to get a heart instead?
I think it would have been better for Viper to not Viper's Dragon Illusion. Because I believe he did Viper's Dragon Illusion. It will not matter for poor Tristero, though. It's not going to save his life. Boy, LaCroix's actually going to go down here. Very short order. Unfortunately, once again, you kind of get a little bit. Oh my God, Code Line. Very, very low there.
Biden showed up with no health to that fight. He had like 20% mana.
Yep, it swings and roundabouts in this game. As now suddenly the Radiant just threw away 3 of their guys for really nothing. Well, they were trying to secure Tormentor, but that did not work out, surprisingly enough. Drow trying to go for Ag's Blessing here. I believe that is it coming on the courier, yep. So Ag's Blessing on the Drow, which is going to be very, very nasty if you're Dragon Knight. Basically is going to eliminate him from the game at this point, more or less. Okay, Void Spirit, that's such an awkward time to TP!
Yeah, I'm sure done that right after they won that fight.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
The Medusa sneaking by to go jungle.
Yep.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tristero thanks you. T3 bot down for both teams. Drow wants to get some racks here. The rest of her team does not seem to be quite so willing. They are going to drop everything on a Medusa Illusion. Viper just got an E-Blade. E3 mid gonna go down here. Ranger gonna get another melee racks here, which is good. Boy Spirit, push from one Sterile to another. Big Boy LaCroix going very forward here. Having a bit of a hard time killing him though, but that's okay. Big Boy LaCroix gonna go down. Undying, pretty fast here. He does drop a tombstone on death. pvcpipe can't stand up to Medusa. Buyback's coming in on the Radiant lineup. Medusa gone down. She has buyback.
It's GG. Maybe not. They're gonna run away.
Yeah, they just had to die back on Axe, so they're no longer willing to push this fight forward. Goodbye, Molsky.
They might have been able to kill that Deuce again.
Potentially, but they're not going to run the risk without Axe.
Invisibility.
And I do not blame them. I would be very hesitant to stick around there with literally no stuns. Because that's what they had. They have no call on Axe, they have no BS. They had 0 stuns of any kind. They don't even have a Gleipnir on anybody. Medusa did just get Daedalus. Could be bad.
Did the Viper die back? I didn't notice. He doesn't have buyback anymore. Did they buy out?
Yeah, he just bought out.
Regeneration.
This Tormentor has stayed alive a little awkwardly long on Dire. I guess all I had to do was mention it, and now it's gone. Boy Void Spirit gets himself a nice shard.
Shard's
Now he has
not that
Holy
great.
Thrones. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? It's not that great, but you would rather have it than nothing, I guess. Molsky probably would have liked to have that, but no Burning Barrage for him. Lynx has Smoke of Deceit, which is kind of funny if you think about it.
Yeah, Dire definitely wants to smoke. They're all grouped up.
Yep, Axe just spawned in. Molsky, you're the smoke carrier. Where you going, homie? Okay.
Can they make it to Roshan time?
Potentially. We're gonna have to start
It's
moving.
over by Rosh.
They are reconsidering their smoke, I think.
Dire are scanning.
It's scanned out, Roche.
Is it
You
up?
find no one. It is indeed up. You can tell that from down here.
Huh.
They're gonna smoke in the. I don't like that. I would have much rather had everybody just smoke into the Roche pit here and just take it for themselves. They're so paranoid the enemy team is doing it, but nobody's here. Of course, the
I mean,
enemy
you can
team,
see
because
the-
they revealed in the wave, now know for sure they're
Yeah.
in this pit.
There's 3 heroes bottom. You can see that on the map.
They're gonna try and smoke to jump in on this, but yeah, they're gonna smoke to try and jump in on this, but they're way too late. That was that was a tale of two failings. It's like they made it very obvious that they were doing Roche, but the Radiant did not actually capitalize on it quickly enough. They only started running up there when it was already 90% dead. It's very awkward.
What do you think about the backpack and the blade mail for the cheese on X?
I don't like it. At this point in the game,
Vanguard for sure.
yeah, get rid of the Vanguard. That's like nothing anymore. Like, do something with that thing. He is getting hard. Hopefully he disassembles for it. They're gonna do the Radiant Tormentor, so Clinks will get his shard after all. Interestingly, they're not going to try and knock down the range tracks in mid. They're going to try and go for the T3 top. Going to be a riskier proposition. They did just get Medusa, but I don't think they've realized it. Max calls like the worst people to call at this point. Going to get the Skyrath Mage. Yes, bought the flame mail really early there to not just eat it to Medusa. Void Spirit, very awkward position. Axe has gone back in. Could have chopped Viper down, but Viper at buyback, he does not.
Lost their fuck.
It's hard to follow what's happening here.
The Radiant were just too tanky for the Dire to actually get rid of it all. Everybody took very long to kill. And now as a result, it's just kind of Drow hanging out here with the Void Spirit.
She's got Aegis.
Yeah, she doesn't have
Hit the
babies.
building.
Has no desire to hit those buildings. I think it's hard anyway. They've got the E-Blade on the Viper. They've got lots of point guarding going on. First death for Drow. It's not looking good for her, I must say. Yeah, she's gonna kind of die instantly. That Remnant somehow didn't hit Viper. Fascinating.
Radiant's middle barracks.
And the route comes out. There's too much attention and focus given to the Radiant's heroes in that fight. I think if they had knocked out the T3 rather than just trying to go all in on the enemy lineup, they would have done themselves a lot better. Now, next time they go up, they have to contend with an undying Crimson Guard.
My just reward.
At least Molsky got its just reward. I gotta say, at this point, one thing that I'm 100% sure of is that this Clinks pick on Dire did not really pan out. it does not feel like this guy, this guy's whole contribution to this game feels like Bloodthorn, and you definitely could have picked alternate heroes for that. T5 items coming out. Checking real quick.
Was this part of my plan?
Radiant has all of theirs, Dire has none.
This is well accounted for.
They get a buyback out of both Drow and Void Spirit. I think it's safe to say this is your final fight. Medusa just screams and TPs. Naga Siren style. Big Boy LaCroix must face the music in her place. Though he is so fast and so tanky. They just can't catch him.
Did you notice he has the Black Dragon free pathing and still went up the stairs anyway?
Just very awkward. Definitely would have liked to see a cool swap out there or something, maybe. I think they're being very defensive with the swaps. It's not necessarily to their advantage.
Radiant's middle base has
He's
fallen.
gonna drop Archer, make this a little more awkward. They can just go hit this. The backdoor is not going to be on it for a little while. They have made the decision to go that way.
Has fallen.
So I don't really like this call that they're doing. They just bought back on 2 of their cores and they're running it all the way to base.
Oh no,
I don't have the Void Spirit right now either.
Drow just walked right next to the Wisdom Rune. Well, that was fine, because that was a pretty low-risk objective. Everybody was still visible around here. They didn't have the ability to catch Drow as badly as they needed. They just took a T3 for 3 and walked away. So that's fine. That's a risky play, but that's a fine play.
Yeah, if they catch the Drow at all and kill her, that's game.
Drow has Apex,
Yeah,
by the way.
definitely. So this
Lots of nonsense dropping at once in this fight. Everybody on Radiant drops their ults on Drow at once. Tohohoro with a very awkwardly timed swap there. Just puts Drow into more danger. Oh no. Oh, you hate to see it. Oh. Oh, the comms must be glorious in this fight. Oh, poor Tohohoro.
So the reason I asked you if you watched that cast I did with Reedy right before the games that week, because I made a very specific prediction that Lion was gonna have the game of his life. He was gonna go off,
Bounty.
and he did really well this game.
Certainly comparatively. Oh man, that was such a failure in communication. You cannot pick VS for your lineup and do that. I'm sorry. Yeah, that you just cannot, like, I mean, the entire issue to start with was that the VS so far in this game has been 100% defensive. I don't believe a single swap on an enemy has actually come out. And it's tough living in that world. Okay, goodbye, Axe. No longer matters in this world. Did not finish its heart, so he does not have anything to do anymore.
These buildings are dying so fast.
Yeah, they've certainly got a lineup where those sorts of things are very difficult. Oh man, oh that sucks so much. Oh god, what a heartbreaking way for a 65-minute match to end. Drow just gets swapped into 5 and by her own teammate and dies. Oh man.
That was rough.
You know what's the
Can't wait
worst
to
part
see
is
the
that
graph.
Tohohoro is also from Quebec, so she got a bunch of angry French screaming after that. Oh man, there's almost nothing else to say. Themeless Void did seem like there was a few times where Themeless Void was really trying to give this game away. I think if In the alternate reality where you have somebody besides this axe, I think this is or besides the clinks as well, which really did not feel like it helped. Like, the draft was one thing. I think on paper, this draft on the Dire is like, it's not the best draft in the world, but it's not game we're losing, but the execution, especially on the clinks, it just felt very, very less than. The decision to only swap to save did not do them any favors. The decision to, well, swap to quote-unquote save, I guess. The decision to run with the support clinks, even though I would be very surprised if Molsky was all that down, comfortable with the idea, did them even fewer favors. It felt like, unfortunately, this guy, 1 up, 0 impact, you know what I'm saying? And having the stand-in over Floozy did stand out a little bit here as well. It's very rough, but, like, this match was won and lost in the span of about 2 seconds, if that makes sense. Which is very unfortunate. Let's see if they can avoid the same misfortune next time.